Welcome to our morning program, and we thank you always for being part of our media. I am Joram Wesige, hosting our friend Zimula Timothy, one of the individuals who are actually concerned about what goes on in our community. So we believe we shall be having a great interaction, and everyone will be gaining as we are building a better society. So let me welcome our colleague, our friend, and he will introduce himself to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad being part of you. I'm Zimula Timothy by name. I'm actually not a resident of Lugonjo, for clarity. I'm in Lugonjo for mainly business.
Okay.
I'm a resident of Bangana Chuogo. I happen to be the CEO of Z Construction Services, and as well a business enthusiast, doing produce, sales, and marketing, and royal investments, all under my care and under my name. Thank you.
Okay. How is the Z construction? Sometimes people are saying the economy is becoming hard. Construction materials, the clients are not paying. The economy is roughly not trending as it should be.
Yeah, actually, everyone is pressed by the economy. As for Z construction, true, clients, their payment is now bad. Materials are fluctuating here and there. If I can recall, around February, we were buying a bag of cement at 35,000. In just a week, it pushed down to 32, and then after like a week and a half, we went back to something like 38, 40,000. So that's where we are right now, and that's how we keep pushing through. Nevertheless, we keep fighting because, you know, being a Ugandan, especially as the youth, we have to keep fighting. Much as we are challenged here and there, the fight has to go on.
Yes. Are you concerned about Uganda's economy?
Yeah, sure I am. And actually, every adult Ugandan should be concerned about the economy, because where the economy pushes you, it's either a wall or a road. When the economy is not fine, we are not fine.
How about people who say, I'm not concerned about politics? What is your advice to those people?
Of course, quotes are there and people have quoted us. We know everyone is a political person, a political animal, that's a quote. But reality holds that whether you put interest in politics or not, it will at the end of the day affect you, because it's through politics that decisions are made, decisions that are governing me, decisions that are affecting me, even at the grassroots level. So for a person that's not concerned about politics, they just don't know what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, when the policy is passed through political arrangements, it will affect you as a person, it will affect your consumption, it will affect your earning, and it will affect your day-to-day life.
Okay, you just said policies. We are going to talk about the health of Uganda's economy. In your general perspective, Uganda's economy is built based on politics and of course other elements like production, education, health, and all that. In relation to politics and policies we just talked about, what is your general perception or comment?
You know, when you look at Uganda as it is right now, we are a country that is literally lacking economically. We are still pushing up. We had a dream to be a middle-income status country by 2024, right? And we're already in 2024. We've not hit the mark. I think we are somewhere around 43% of the income generation. And Uganda's being right now, its contribution to the world GDP is just 0.02%. So that's a very, very small thing to give us an insight of whether we are performing or not. Because right now, as Uganda is, we are so many years, 50 years and above after independence. We should be an independent country in the sense that our economy can stand on its own. But if it's a country that is still dependent on debts, a country that is still dependent on borrowing, a country whose people don't know exactly the direction they are supposed to take in as far as their economic participation is concerned, is a country that is literally supposed to be termed as economically sick. Talking about the health of the country in economics, there are indicators we have to put into play. There are things we look at, and generally we look at its GDP. We look at the inflation rate, we look at unemployment rates, we look at economic growth and its sustainability, the balance of payment, and so many things. So if you try to critically discuss Uganda's economy right now, you will find that to a compromise, our GDP is not sounding, and there are numerous factors that are bringing about that. So to break it down, I will tell you that our economy is not fine.
So, some people are saying that, and they have slogans. You've been seeing the politician saying that they want to jumpstart or throw Uganda into, you said, to the first world economy, middle income, things like that. But when you look at the policy, the program like Operation Wealth Creation, Youth Livelihood Program, Policy Development Model, these, to my understanding of economics, they are economic redistribution program. They are not income generating program, because they are about getting money from somewhere and put it somewhere, getting money from taxpayer Peter and give it to taxpayer Simon. So it is kind of the economic fallacious policies which do not contribute to the economy, though they transfer it somewhere where they think it's productive. But if when you look at where this money is coming from, it is coming from someone who is efficient, productive, and able to make profit, and whose multiplier effect is high and given to the beginner, a person who is going to collapse. If you look at the figures from office, from government, you'll see that 63% of business that start every year collapses. Why do government not realize that such economics of duplicating or actually redistribution to create welfare for people to become equal, that does not work?
It's actually true the government is doing whatever they do through different initiatives, through different programs to see us thriving as an economy. But Uganda as it is, we've been placed into a position where we are literally vulnerable. So our thinkers, what they come up as initiatives to keep us flowing and initiatives to grow us, they are literally placing us under a beggar economy. So when you look at Uganda's economy and all the programs that come out to revive us, you will find that by the time the president thinks about Polish development model, he's literally headed for elections and he's using it for political mileage. You understand? So the idea is wrong. If we are looking at economic reviving, we should look at the grassroots techniques. You know, in our old days as a nation, every family had something it was known by. You would find Mr. Mukasa is known for brewing Warajian, this local brew Tondo. You find someone else is known for probably coffee farming. Another person is known for something else. But right now, we are an economy that's being driven from that aspect of what we can do and what we can train our kids to one economy that is known by what we can beg and whom we can beg from. I think the political agenda of the nation right now is not literally to uphold or to uplift our economy. It's mainly to keep us an obedient populace. Because if it was about reviving parish development model as it is, it wouldn't be as it is right now. You can't wake up one morning, you pick money from a rich tycoon, let's say Ham Chikundo, who is able to start up a company, to start up a factory or any industry that can employ over 100 Ugandans, and you pick money from him in form of a loan. You're depriving him of resources for investment and bringing them to people who are literally starters. A person who doesn't know the dynamics of investing 10,000 and pick out an extra 5,000 as a profit. So you're literally compromising Ham Chigundo's productivity for a poor man in the village. We normally use Chevron Gotoko. Now, this is a person who doesn't know that I can use a 10,000 shillings to create money. Our economy is an economy that is literally a feeder economy. Whatever we get, we are more of consumers. So the person you're giving money in form of the parish through PDM is literally receiving money for beans, receiving money for food. When we had there is that program that Salim Saleh was running.
Operation Wealth Creation.
Yeah, Operation Wealth Creation. They used to give people beans. They give you bean seeds today, and tomorrow you find them in the saucepan being prepared for food. So, an economy where people are hungry, literally, not hungry for knowledge, but hungry for tangibles, is an economy that can't be revived by such programs.
Okay, so the government has drawn itself into programs of telling people where to go for medication,
Yeah.
where to go for education, where to go for other services. But wouldn't it be the better alternative that government's role is to create an environment where people themselves think of where to go for themselves instead of government providing platform where they should go? Because everything that government tells us to do, actually government gets them from somewhere. The schools you see government being facilitated, provided by the government, they are not operating very well because government by nature has a problem of inefficiency. Government, because of that, has bureaucracy and corruption. Do you believe the role of government should be actually to act as a watchdog, to provide the environment of rules to enable the environment that individuals, when they wake up tomorrow and want to do something, they serve themselves without government control?
Actually, we've seen it that all fast-growing economies in the world are majorly capitalist with a limited government intervention. So if we are still a socialist environment, being that we are actually led by a gorilla, these are people whose ideology is on orders. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't expect our government, with its participation in our economy, to be in position to establish something that is literally satisfying its populace. You find Uganda right now stands at an approximate of 50 million Ugandans. But the referral hospitals don't go beyond 10. I think we have around 8 major referrals. So that means if you look at the referral and distribute it through the population, you may find that over 800,000 Ugandans are catered for by one hospital. So what happens if the government emphasizes on bringing in potential investors who can take on that health investment? You understand? So you could find that if we sought for such, Uganda would become a country that is independently managing its own health sector. But right now, there are referrals we can't make in Uganda. Heart surgeries, Kenya, India, you understand? But this is a government that's literally involved in the day-to-day performance of the economy. But the question should be, do they do it out of goodwill? You understand? Because there is involving yourself, but then there is a question of whether you want it or not. So we are pushed into believing that the government is just taking and having us at mercy. That even the things we are supposed to get as Ugandans, that we are obliged to, things that are rightfully supposed to be ours, we are given back as gifts and offers. So when you talk about government involvement and the growth of our economy, I will tell you that the government is doing so much, but the so much they're doing is literally nothing. It's like having a kid, you present them varieties of eats, This kid will jump over to popcorns, they will go for Guinness, they will go for this and that. At the end of the day, they've not picked satisfaction from any of the eats you presented before them. So that's what the government does.
So specialization is important. I have been in Entebbe for some time. People have been asking me why in Rugonjo where I stay, rubbish were all over. They were tinted on every junction of the road. The place was smelly sometimes, most times. Recently, people were asking me what changed. Is it because the current mayor is so magical that the rubbish in Rugonjo, from Nachogo to Rugonjo, are non-existent? That today you can walk and you don't see rubbish majorly tinted everywhere. I always tell people that value, people consider value much. Every person who wakes up every morning wakes up because of value. And that value is created by private individuals, private businesses. What former mayor failed to do was privatization, to privatize, to create value in the rubbish and garbage collection. When business are always in the hands of private individuals, they always find value. They always tend to work to get that value by providing the community with value. In the process, they are paid because of that. And government offices or officials, for them, they earn free money. Imagine a teacher who goes to government school. When the student don't pass, he's paid. What do you think would happen when a person in private school? The director would ask you. You will not even ask. You will not even ask salary increment. But government, according to the laws, quote that, according to the laws, public school teachers, health workers are entitled to salary increment according to standards. And that's why you see. So when we are discussing these ideas, some of them they are utopia, they are unrealistic. But the inherent effects of these ideologies, the free market capitalism, it is actually inherent for everybody in our community that when you put good policy that are capitalistic, like that one of garbage collection in our community, where individual comes, collect the garbage because they are paid value, because they do something because of value, they are paid. Why do you think most people contest capitalism? Why do you think they prefer socialism?
Now, many contestations come up because of ideology and enlightenment. We are a Uganda that is literally below in the education. Our sector itself is it's much of a theory sector. So, inception of some new ideas by the masses is literally supposed to be done through sensitization. So you talked about garbage collection and its privatization. Right now, Entebbe is one community where it's true rubbish is being handled well, but what value do we put to that rubbish itself? Because right now you look at someone that is getting employed to go collecting rubbish from people's homes, but what value do we draw from the rubbish? This is the rubbish that is dumped somewhere near the lake, not properly managed, that it spills into the lake, and that's causing us environmental challenges. So I think much as the mayor thought about that, about privatizing garbage collection, there is so much we can do from rubbish. So best idea, if he was literally looking at controlling garbage dumping and creating employment opportunities for the masses, and then keeping the city clean, he should as well think about an innovative method on how to contain the rubbish. We are seeing countries where that garbage is used to produce.
Always, everywhere, asking for government intervention.
Now, our desire for government to intervene in our day-to-day affairs is literally largely sided with our ignorance. For a person that knows what the government is supposed to do, if they are supposed to bring everything to your table, you wouldn't seek for government in all things. Because now, you look at a state where we need an MP to represent us in the parliament about a certain policy that is going to affect us at the grassroots. But we don't go back, we don't follow up to know of whether this policy is going to affect us or it's a mileage for them. You understand? We call for government, we seek for government in everything, but we ignore the fact that what we are seeking for is like calling a thief into your house. You understand? The more you ask government to work on the education sector, to work on the health sector, to work on capitalization of our agriculture, to work on its modernization and mechanization, you're literally calling for the government to increase taxes. You understand? So, any unit of input the government has on us is literally versing 3 units of our output to the government. We are operating in a system where the government taxes 1 million and they only use 400 to 600,000 on us. For every 1 million the government collects from you, you receive back not beyond 40%. The 60% goes into bureaucracy. They have to sit in parliament, they need allowances. They have to sit at the council, they need allowances. They have to sit at the local council, LC1, they need allowances. So at the end of the day, they will tell you that the 1 million we collected from you, we are bringing back 400 to you because we use the 600 to buy books, to buy pens. You've had scenarios where a pen in Uganda buys that it costs 1 million. You've had scenarios where a cow costs 1 billion. You understand? So that's where people go wrong. The pressure you put on the government in what you desire for the government to do for you is literally amounting into how the government is going to affect you in order to draw what they want from you. You get? So, the concept of government at Uyambe is actually not for government to help us, but we are calling upon the government for us to help the government. And in this, I mean, we are calling upon ourselves to compromise our own liberty, to compromise our own peace, to compromise our own well-being. Because the moment you call upon someone to build a hospital for you, to build a school for you, that's already a burden. But that burden is not to the government, it goes back to me. Because even if they woke up one day to present for us a budget, that budget is going to be funded, not even half. Uganda right now cannot finance half its budget. I think so far we are now at 43% public financing of the budget. So now imagine the 60%, where does it come from? They are looking at how to tax us.
Yes.
So the more you
the government
broaden their budget,
to borrow from people,
is the more they are going to squeeze you through taxation, is the more they are going to borrow, and at the end of the day, still it's you and me that are going to sit and cater for this. You understand? We go into borrowing locally, we go into borrowing outboard, we go into this and that, we go into grants, but all these monies are not put to proper use because what we are asking for, we can't follow up.
Yes.
You ask for a hospital, someone tells you we built it with 1 trillion shillings, when in actual sense its ground value is about 500 billions. But you don't give them those questions, you don't ask them. For a person that asks about corruption, you become bad. A person that asks about what went wrong, you are now a bad person.
Today, if you look at service sector, it is the leading contributors to Uganda's economy. If you look at education, look at health, you look at every aspect, I mean every sector of the economy, they are all actually in the hand of private individuals. 75% and beyond of health is in the hands of private individuals. Education, over 75% also, is in the hands of private individuals. Trading, forestry. Most of these are all in hands of what? In private individual. What makes people think that government is the solution has always been my concern. Because if you look at what contribute on building this economy, it is private individuals. We are asking, what do you think actually builds the economy? What do you think builds prosperity and builds for the economy?
To start with, an economy is built by decisions and priorities. For a country like Uganda, where 9.1 trillion of the national budget this is an economy with 1.6 trillion alone into their growth development. But remember, from the service sector that gives us, I think it's 51%.